Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach, and today we have with us Zehra Mahoon, who is a Master of Mindset and Law of Attraction and Manifesting Expert. Zehra, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I am as well, and I always love talking about goal setting and achievement and success. And I know you are a big Napoleon Hill follower, and I want to talk through, when we think about law of attraction, I feel like it's kind of like that old movie and book called The Secret, and everyone loved it. And then all of a sudden, people started just kind of thinking, well, if I just think good thoughts and thoughts are things, then here comes the good things. Well, you got to make sure that you use some elbow grease and do the work as well. So I want to talk to you about how you recommend to people you work with how to make sure that you're actually doing the work, but doing it in the right direction. So give us a little bit of background on yourself and then how you work with your clients in your coaching practice.
This is such an exciting question because I am actually one of those people who fell into that trap that said no action required, just change your thoughts. And when I did that, I almost lost my house. I most certainly lost custody of my son, and a whole bunch of other not so nice things happened. So don't do that. No. What I have learned, so when all of that happened, I learned a big lesson. And the lesson I learned was that law of attraction is not about not taking action. Law of attraction is about taking aligned action, meaning that your thoughts have to line up with the action that you intend to take. So if your thoughts are in a place that says this is going to be hard, and you still take action, then it is going to be hard. But if instead you prime the pump by saying, I need to take action, I'm going to prepare for it, or if you've been preparing, I have been preparing for it, it's going to turn out all right, I've done the best I can, and then you act. Now that action is smoother, easier, faster. And that is the difference that The Secret movie did not bring forward, and that is a difference that most people miss.
Yeah, and then I feel like there's a lot of directions people can go with which is, let's get my thoughts correctly aligned. That's wonderful. Check that box. And then now let me start moving in the direction of success. And that's great. But then I feel like there could be some people that just try to strive too hard or push too hard. And in reality, sometimes you need to make sure that you are just letting through the things that need to be let through without, kind of the old proverbial statement of trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. So how do you feel like some of those things also factor in?
Mike, I think that if that's how you're feeling and that is the result that you're getting, that you think you've done the thought alignment work, but you haven't really accomplished it. Because trying too hard, and when you feel like you're beating your head against a brick wall, like you're swimming against the current again, rather than swimming with the current, that means that you are falling short of doing the alignment work, the mental work that is required. It's like an athlete. Take the example of an athlete. My favorite example has to do with tennis because that's the sport that I tried to perfect when I was younger. And I remember spending hours and hours and hours thinking about how I would serve the ball. And then I would spend hours and hours and hours doing it. Because every time you serve the ball, you then go back and tweak your action a little bit in order to perfect it further. So it's a combination. You visualize yourself doing it a certain way, then you go and do it, and you get the result that you get, and then you fine-tune it further. That's how you develop mastery. That's in sales. That's what it's all about, right? You say things a certain way. You observe the action, the transfer of goods and services or whatever you're selling happens, and then you go back to the drawing board and you said, I did it that way, and this is the result I got, but I want a better result. So what can I do different?
You speak about sales, and you have said that sales is a transference of energy. Talk a little bit about that, because I really do think that it ties into what we read a lot about lately, which is, facts tell, but stories sell, and stories tie into that emotion of making a decision. People don't really want to, they want to buy, but they don't want to be sold. So they want to make the decision themselves. They don't want to be pushed. So what is the transference of energy that you focus on?
In one word, it's hope. When you tell someone a story, you are bringing them hope. The transference of energy that takes place between someone who has a product or service and the person who's at the other end receiving that product and service is a transference of the energy of hope. The buyer hopes that this product is the final solution to whatever it is that they need. And the salesperson has to believe in their product enough that they can give that transference of energy. And I'll tell you something. People feel that transfer. If you don't believe in your product and you try to go and make a sale, people see right through it, because you're not transferring hope to them. You are transferring hoax to them.
It's interesting. Hope, we can go in a lot of different directions on that word, but I think that ties into transformation. People hope for a transformation. They hope for something new, different. And you can think about people might want to, lose 10 pounds, gain 10 pounds. They might want to change their whatever habits. And it's funny because at the time of this recording, we're pretty close to May the 4th, which my son and I are big Star Wars fans. So May the 4th be with you is, Star Wars Day on the 4th of May. Well, we watched again the movie Rogue One, and one of the lines in there is quite interesting because they talk about the rebellion against the Empire, and one of the lines was, all rebellions are based on hope. And, here's the oppressed party hoping for something better. So I really think that one word is such a powerful mindset to keep in our thoughts, because if we are in sales, in reality, we're looking to serve someone, and we're looking to provide them that hope. Now, where can we make the mistakes of crossing the line and maybe feeding hope that has some ethical boundaries where, maybe you're not telling all of the points about your product, or maybe the service that you're talking about really wouldn't benefit them as much, but you're tapping into that hope, and having that transference of energy. So let's talk a little bit about the ethics of that.
That's very interesting. And I have a number of different ways of looking at it. I'm going to look at it first from the point of view of the purchaser, the buyer of the service. And for the buyer of the service, the most important thing is that hope that has been kindled has to stay alive in order for them to actually get from the product what they're looking to get. Because if they deviate from that energy of hope, the whole thing falls down. Because even a fantastic product cannot give you results if you don't believe that you will get results from it. And it's the placebo effect, because a product that is not as good, does not have anything, but you believe it will work, it works. So the buyer's belief is paramount in the transaction. And there are people, purchasers, and I spent my life in sales, so I know that sometimes you meet people and they're suspicious, even of a product that, from the bottom of your heart, that this is the thing for them. That if they actually use it or if they actually follow the instructions, they will get the result that the product promises because you really believe in your product. But if the purchaser does not hold on to that belief or they have doubts about it, the whole thing is like a house of cards and it will fall down.
Yeah, so belief is really a big, big piece. And it goes, like you just said, it goes both ways. You need to believe in your product or service, and then you need to transfer that hope to the prospects so that they believe that it can be that catalyst for the change or transformation that they're looking for. So, yeah, belief is a big, big factor.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that sets salespeople apart from the general category of salespeople is the follow-through to make sure that the client who has just purchased this product is actually following through. Because if they don't follow through, then they don't get the results, and then they're dissatisfied and they want to tell the whole world about it. You want to make sure that the promise that you've made can be kept, and that is where your follow-through, your follow-up, your circling around to them, you're putting your arms around them is important. And depending on the cycle, the life cycle of the product, some products people consume and, it's a short cycle. It's like a couple of days maybe, but for other products, it's a very long-term consumption cycle. And the salesperson has a very important role to play because you're touching base with the client. Make sure that you do keep the client in a place of hope. You keep pushing them forward in taking the action that they need to take in order to actually receive the benefit.
It's interesting when you were talking about belief, it made me think about that. It's kind of like an old saying, and I'm sure you've heard it many times, I'll believe it when I see it. But in reality, you'll see it when you believe it, because you need to have that belief in that thing. Those thoughts need to be aligned. And then when that is done the right way and you put the work in and stay diligent and consistent, then that sets the stage. Now, that doesn't mean every single time, you'll see it when you believe it, because you can just sit there now and go back to what we were saying at the very beginning. Let me just align my thoughts and then poof, here it comes. Well, that's not the case, but you've got to get that mindset dialed in correctly.
I agree with you. And I want to add to that if you have deviating beliefs, then it doesn't work, because if you have deviating beliefs, if all your beliefs about the action that you're going to take are not congruent, then you've got a bad apple in the bushel and it's going to spoil the whole bushel. So take an example. I don't want to work hard to earn money, but my belief is that unless you work hard, you cannot earn money. So now I should be able to find a job that's easy to do, that's fun to do, and is effortless and takes no time at all for me to do. But I have this belief that says you can't make money without working hard. I have two beliefs that are pulling me in two separate directions. So a lot of times when people discover law of attraction, they start hoping that their new belief system is actually going to work and things are going to become easier for them, but they've incorporated the new belief, but they still haven't let go the old belief. So unless you let go that old belief, now you have two beliefs that are loggerheads with each other, for lack of a better phrase. They're actually fighting with each other. And the one that has the most momentum or the most power in your mind is the one that will win.
And what you just said is really important, because it's where you focus, where you focus your attention, where the energy goes, where your focus goes, the energy flows. And it's just, you cannot be happy and sad at the same time. So there's so many of these things that that we've heard growing up that you just need to pause and just kind of let sink in and go, maybe that is part of my solution. I just need to slow it down just enough to quit sprinting through life and make sure I apply these principles,
Absolutely. I don't think that these are new things. I think we've always known them. It's just making sense of them, organizing our thoughts and saying, if this is possible, then this thing that opposes it cannot be possible. It can't be real. It's, for example, I can't believe that my parents love me and at the same time believe that if I do something that they don't like, that they're going to kill me, because those two beliefs are now pulling me into different directions. So your beliefs have to be congruent with the direction you want to adopt. If you feel that you can make a business big, then all your beliefs have to support that. If you start thinking, there are no people out there who are going to buy my stuff, then even though you believe that people should buy your stuff, but you also believe that there are no people who will buy your stuff, well, it's not going to work.
Exactly. Well, Zehra, really, let's wrap up with this. I know there's a lot of people that would like to just confirm that they've got their thoughts aligned and their actions aligned in the right direction. And you've got some great teachings on your website and some resources. So what's the best way that people can reach out and connect with you?
Through my website, zemahoon.com. If you go to my website, there's a contact form. Send me a message. I will be more than happy to respond.
Excellent. Well, Zehra, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.